Factories in Indonesia keep growing, and that's a good news for our economy. But there is a potential damage for our environment that we cannot ignore. But here's the thing. We can turn our forests into a new revenue for our country. What it is? Carbon credit. Hi guys, I'm Dirga. Welcome back to my day 24 of my 30 days challenge talking in front of camera. How are you guys? I hope you are doing well. So, in this video, I'm going to talk about an interesting topic about the problem we are facing about industrial growth, the solution that have been created, and how Indonesia can benefit from carbon credit. This is sound a little bit complicated, but once you understand, you will know why this is a big deal for our country. Okay, let's start with what actually happening in Indonesia. Factories in Indonesia show consistent positive growth, so more and more factories are being built and opening job opportunities. But here's the thing. Factories operational produce carbon dioxide or CO2. For the plant needs CO2 for photosynthesis so it can produce oxygen. But over the years, our forest area has been decreasing significantly, so it decreased the capacity to absorb carbon dioxide. Meanwhile, carbon emission is produced every day consistently. So can lead into CO2 accumulation in our atmosphere. CO2 accumulation in the atmosphere can lead into greenhouse effect. With greenhouse effect, this will increase our Earth temperature and can change our climate. If the climate changes is not prepared properly, this can lead into a disaster. So the problem we are facing is the economic growth we pay it with environmental damage. So what is the solution? In 2015, many countries gathered in Paris and committed to reduce carbon emission so the Earth's temperature not rising too much. This is also called with Paris Agreement. With this agreement, the result is a market-based incentive to reduce carbon emission that called with carbon credit. So, what is carbon credit? Carbon credit is a permit for a company to produce certain amount of carbon emission. If the company exceeds the limit, the company need to buy extra carbon credit. And this is the interesting part. Carbon credit can be generated by project that can reduce carbon emission, like hydroelectric power plant, wind power plant, and forest restoration. So basically, if you are doing something good for the environment, you can make carbon credit. And if the company pollute too much for the environment, they need to buy this carbon credit. This is a market-based incentive that make us save the environment profitable. Now this is the interesting part for the Indonesia. Carbon credit can be traded internationally. So if Indonesia is committed to preserve its forests like the rainforest, the mangrove forest, peatland, and doing forest restoration, this can be a new source of income for Indonesia. Think about this. Indonesia has some of the largest forests in the world, and the forest is absorbing carbon every single day. With this environmental service under the carbon credit system, the service also have economical value. So, carbon credit is a market-based incentive that push the company to migrate to renewable energy, and for a country like Indonesia, we have reason to protect and restore our forests. So that is carbon credit in a nutshell. This is a win-win solution for companies that produce pollution and for country that has large forests like Indonesia. What do you think? Put a comment below. Also, don't forget to subscribe so you don't miss my next day talking in front of camera. Bye bye.